Good dub. Ugly, but we found a way to win. Woo. Fever dub. Woo! Woo! Fever!
Here's a chilling statistic of sweet revenge. Following a tough defeat against the Atlanta Dream, on May 20th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, where they were outperformed in rebounds and physical play, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever turned the tables dramatically just 2 days later. In their rematch on May 22nd, they dominated the Dream with a commanding 46-20 advantage in the paint and limited Brittney Griner to a mere 5 points before she fouled out.
Hey, Steph. This question is for you. I just wanted to talk about what you saw out of your team that was different from Tuesday. Obviously, it's a quick turn, but how did you feel like your adjustments paid off on the court?
I felt like our defensive energy, physicality, disruptiveness was better. We made it more difficult for them, moving the ball around the perimeter. We executed better in our ball screen defense. Felt like we had each other's back a little bit more.
The same team that barely edged out a narrow loss on their home turf arrived in Atlanta and absolutely dominated. A display of redemption at its finest. This swift turnaround and remarkable adaptability highlight why the Fever are truly championship contenders. Stay tuned, because we're also diving into the fiery clash between Clark and an Atlanta Dream player, uncovering the shocking words exchanged during the showdown. But what does this victory really reveal about Clark's leadership? It proves she's capable of guiding a squad packed with multiple all-stars and versatile options, elevating her team to new heights whenever it counts.
There's one thing this Indiana Fever team has shown us they will do this year. It's not quit on the game. The Indiana Fever down early, come back, take the lead. Down late, come back, take the lead. The only difference between tonight's outcome and Tuesday's outcome is a letter.
Imagine this. Just 2 days before their epic revenge clash, the Fever exited their home court at Gainbridge Fieldhouse feeling utterly crushed after narrowly losing to Atlanta. The 91-90 defeat was more than just a close call. It was the kind of loss that exposes every flaw within your team, shedding light on what needs to be fixed and fueling their hunger for redemption.
Yes, this stinks. We want to win this game. But, I think this is great for our team. A little adversity. How are we going to respond? How are we going to come in here tomorrow morning and watch the film and learn and get on the court and get better? And like I said, that's why this league is so great. You have a couple days and then you get right back to it. You find a way to respond. We have a chance to go there and play them, actually. So it's even better, I guess. We can, get a little redemption if we go down there and play well.
This loss was far from just a typical regular season loss. It revealed every weakness the Fever had desperately been trying to hide. Atlanta overwhelmed them in ways that should have been impossible on their home court. The Dream out-rebounded Indiana and overpowering them in the paint with ease. Brittney Griner delivered exactly what everyone predicted, exploiting Indiana's smaller lineup, scoring effortlessly with 21 points. The Fever had no real answer to her size and strength. She dominated the matchup. Ryan Howard also shined, dropping 20 points and slicing through Indiana's defense from every angle. The Dream converted 25 of 32 free throws, while the Fever only managed 16 of 26, with some critical missed free throws that ultimately cost them the game.
They shot 32 free throws. It's a lot of free throws. Going to be difficult to win a lot of games when we foul people that much and put them at the line that much. It's tough. They made 25 out of 32. We still went to the line 26 times, missed 10. So that's the game really right there. It obviously doesn't come down to that, but it's just a little thing.
But here's what most people overlooked about that defeat. The Fever weren't just losing, they were learning. Coach Stephanie White confessed afterward, "I don't feel like we match up well with them." She recognized the Dream's Olympians, their perimeter skills, size, and veteran experience. However, White and her coaching staff were already devising a completely different game plan, preparing for a much-needed turnaround.
Proud of our fight, the toughness that we showed, our ability to stay together. Our bench was really engaged in every timeout and in every huddle. We were all engaged. And
the players exited that locker room with a renewed energy, unlike their usual post-loss mood. But those 48 hours between games would prove to be a game changer. What once felt like a crushing home defeat transformed into the fiery motivation that fueled one of the most exhilarating road victories of the season. The real question wasn't if the Fever would rebound. It was how they would make Atlanta regret humiliating them at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Tuesday, we couldn't seal the deal. We lost it at the free throw line. Tonight, we sealed the deal. Tonight, we took the lead late in the fourth after being down 75-71 with 3 minutes left. We take the lead and we don't look back. The Indiana Fever leave the ATL with an 81-76 victory, and this game was pretty. Man, this game was pretty ugly.
Here's a moment that would have sent chills down Fever fans' spines just months ago. Caitlin Clark went 0 for 5 from three-point range, shooting only 4 of 11 overall from the field. Her 11 points fell far short of her usual dominance. For the first time since January 13, 2022, Clark finished a game without making a single three-pointer. This was the first time since her sophomore year at Iowa that she failed to connect from beyond the arc, a rare stumble for one of the league's most lethal shooters on the arc.
What a win for the Indiana Fever against the Atlanta Dream. Good teams win ugly, and that was what was most impressive to me about the Fever's performance against the Dream.
In most teams, when your superstar faces a tough night like this on the road, a blowout loss is often inevitable. Clark also picked up 5 personal fouls, hampering her impact on both offense and defense. The foul trouble kept her on the bench during critical moments, preventing her from making a difference. Under these circumstances, any team solely dependent on their star would have crumbled. Yet, the Fever showed resilience and strength in the face of adversity.
But getting in foul trouble early, I think, messed up her rhythm, and she didn't really have her legs, because it certainly was one of the worst performances of Clark's career from a production standpoint offensively. First time in her career she didn't hit a 3. So, nothing to write home about from Cece. But that's okay, right? Even when, that's happening, game's on the line, she's got the basketball. She's got the basketball, manipulates the defense, gets it to AB, who puts it away.
But this is where the 2025 Fever proved they had transformed into something entirely unexpected. Natasha Howard stepped into the spotlight, delivering a game-high 26 points on an incredible 12 of 17 shooting. Her performance showcased their growth, resilience, and ability to rally even when their star was struggling.
Shout out to Natasha Howard, I will say. You didn't have a good game last game. You bounced back today. If I'm the Atlanta Dream coach, I'm going into tonight with a game plan. Folks, make Natasha Howard beat us. Don't let Caitlin Clark beat us. Don't let Kelsey Mitchell beat us. Don't let Aaliyah Boston beat us. Make Natasha Howard beat us. And Natasha Howard, she took on that challenge and she came through. Let's just think back a year ago. Who's that going to be? Kitty Lou? Nope. Erica Wheeler? Nope. Nalissa Smith, you make me laugh.
This outstanding performance erased all memories of her rough previous game against Atlanta. Howard took over the second half with 18 points, including a vital 13 in the third quarter alone. She also pulled down 7 rebounds, stepping in to lead when the team needed her most, truly showcasing her leadership and clutch presence.
That's why we at least go out and get somebody like a Natasha Howard that when Caitlin Clark, Kelsey, and AB aren't hitting, when Caitlin Clark, Kelsey, and AB are getting hoed with fouls, there's somebody there that's competent offensively that can keep us in the game. And Natasha Howard, you did just that. 26 points, 7 rebounds. Way to go, Natasha Howard.
Sophie Cunningham's return from her ankle injury looked completely effortless. In just 20 minutes, she scored 9 points and pulled down 6 rebounds. Cunningham sank her first three-pointer of the season and ignited an 11-0 run that swung the lead back to the Fever. Her debut injected immediate energy on both ends of the court, proving she was back and ready to make an impact. She even drew an offensive foul in the final seconds, demonstrating her influence went far beyond the stats. Meanwhile, Lexi Hull continued her impressive season with 10 crucial points off the bench. She also dished out 4 assists, tying her career high for well-rounded contribution. Her performance cemented the fact that the team's depth was not just real, but a true weapon, transforming the bench from a potential weakness into a game-changer.
Stephanie White, folks, we were up 3 points in the last minute. Stephanie White puts Sophie and Lexi and they say, press. In the last minute, Stephanie White says, Sophie, Lexi, press. Don't make it easy on them. Don't let them get into their offense. We gotta hassle them. We gotta haggle them. We gotta get on them. We need to force them to make decisions before they want to. And Sophie and Lexi did just that. Those two, great job tonight.
The Fever's bench outscored Atlanta's bench by 16 points. An incredible turnaround from their last meeting, where the Dream's depth had given them a significant edge. Players like Cunningham and Hull delivered vital scoring and tough defensive plays, showcasing their growing importance. This game made it clear to everyone watching, the Fever's depth and versatility had reached new heights. It was more than just a team victory. It was undeniable proof that the Fever had transformed into a genuine championship contender, armed with multiple weapons. When one star faltered, 3 others stepped up seamlessly to fill the gap. The supporting cast didn't just hold their ground during Clark's off night, they thrived, proving the team's resilience and readiness to compete at the highest level.
That's toughness on display. Fighting through it. It ain't always gonna go your way. And then, like I said, some of the new players. I think Natasha Howard was excellent in this game. She was excellent in this game. And there were some, connections between her and Clark. Then there was Sophie Cunningham, who was also back for the first time, who's just an excellent all-around basketball player. And you could see it here. Clark with the get-ahead to Cunningham and the finish. I mean, Cece's just such a gifted passer.
Clark's struggles uncovered something even more significant than any personal performance. This team has what it takes to win championships. Championship contenders require multiple players capable of taking control and changing the game on their own. They need depth that can withstand adversity, and role players who rise to star status when the moment calls for it. The Fever demonstrated they embody all these qualities in a single road game against a tough opponent. Brittney Griner arrived confident, expecting her usual dominance in the paint, just as she proved in their first encounter, showcasing her effectiveness against Indiana. Everyone knew Atlanta would feed her the ball early and often, but this time, the Fever team responded with resilience and unity, proving they truly have what it takes to compete at the highest level.
Damaris Dantas, 17 minutes. Yeah, 1 for 5. Stephanie White, again, to her credit. Did you see what she did today with Dantas? Did you see what she did tonight with Dantas? Brittney Griner, are you in? You're in? Cool. Dantas, get in there. Brittney Griner, you're out? Cool. Dantas, get out. Brittney Griner, you're coming back in? Cool. Dantas, get back in. Griner, you're out? Dantas, you're done here.
The Fever lacked a traditional center who could match Grier's size and strength. Coach Stephanie White openly recognized the challenge, facing Atlanta's formidable front court, especially with players like Grier and Brianna Jones, posed serious matchup problems. White stressed the importance of leveraging the team's versatility and depth to counter their size advantage. This strategic shift became essential for the rematch. But something unusual started happening every time Grier touched the ball. Indiana's defense turned into chaos. Players swarmed her from every direction, executing a wild, unpredictable scheme rooted in chaos theory. Their defensive approach was nothing like standard basketball. Help defenders rotated from positions that defied convention, and double teams emerged from unexpected angles. It was a strategic chaos designed to throw Grier and the Dream off balance, and it worked in ways that kept Atlanta from establishing their usual dominance in the paint.
I felt like our depth came into play there, being able to go to our bench and bring a different defensive coverage and intensity level, and that allowed us to get out in transition. I mean, we're going to be at our best when we're in transition, and I felt like in that second quarter we were able to get out a little bit.
The Fever's defensive strategy was what Coach White described as a collective effort, a relentless display of physicality on every single possession. Whenever Grier touched the ball, it turned into an intense, gritty battle. Indiana's players weren't afraid to take fouls to throw her off her game, making her work harder for every point. This ferocious intensity was a stark improvement from their first encounter. The team out-rebounded Atlanta 41-37, a massive turnaround that underscored their renewed toughness. They limited the Dream to just 76 points on their home court, and the difference in physicality was obvious to everyone watching. Grier's frustration mounted with each missed shot and every referee's whistle that didn't go her way. Her shots grew tougher, her rhythm disrupted, and the cumulative wear and tear of Indiana's hard-nosed defense began to show on every possession.
Brittney Griner tried to post up Damaris and failed to post up Damaris. She tried to move Damaris off the block on defense. She failed to move Damaris off the block on defense. Damaris Dantas isn't only a big body, she's a strong SOB. And Brittney Griner found that out firsthand tonight.
With 3:38 remaining, the inevitable happened. Brittney Griner fouled out, finishing with just 5 points and 7 rebounds. This was the second time this season she had fouled out against the Fever. and it underscored the power of Indiana's relentless defensive approach. Their unwavering determination and cohesive team effort had effectively neutralized one of Atlanta's most dangerous weapons. Throughout the game, the Fever consistently forced her into difficult situations, turning every possession into a grueling battle. They systematically wore her down, making it an arduous task to score in the paint. When their star player was sidelined in foul trouble, Atlanta's game plan crumbled. Her absence severely diminished their scoring punch inside. Their offensive flow was thrown into chaos. As the clock wound down, the Fever exuded confidence, knowing they had capitalized on her foul trouble. With their primary scoring threat gone when it mattered most, they closed out the game with a hard-earned victory, proving their resilience and unwavering commitment to the win.
Let's start with the one that's going to be shared everywhere.
Howard, the number 1st overall pick from 2022, was determined to intimidate the sophomore during this pivotal road game. She had the crucial task of guarding Clark all night, turning every play into a physical battle. The seasoned veteran was doing what veterans do best, pushing the young stars to their limits, testing their mental toughness when it mattered most. This kind of challenge is a common rite of passage in the league, as established players seek to gauge what these rising stars are truly made of under pressure.
Look, Ryan Howard was up in her grill all game, and there's the bump, there's the physical challenge there, and some words. Some words for Clark. But if you could see, Clark has some words back, and those words, if you lip read appropriately, or it seems like from the lip readers out there, were, "I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not scared."
But Clark gazed directly into Howard's eyes and declared, "I'm not scared of you." Her confidence, a trait that elevates stars to superstars, shone through. In that moment, she threw her shoulder into Howard's chest during the intense exchange, then flashed a sarcastic thumbs up, a clear message that she wasn't backing down from anyone. That powerful moment was caught on camera and instantly went viral across social media, inspiring fans and showcasing Clark's fearless spirit on the biggest stage.
"I'm not scared of you." With that, and that's competing. That's good basketball. That's fine. Howard wanted the challenge. I loved it. I love that. You just can't let, people play Clark like they're bumping her at the line of scrimmage and not call a foul. You got to call those fouls. Get them in foul trouble.
This wasn't just trash talk. It was a bold declaration that the Fever's young core was ready to stand their ground. Clark's fearless reply sent a powerful message to her teammates. They belonged on this stage. She demonstrated how to confront pressure from veteran players who tried to intimidate them, inspiring her team to elevate their game. As the crowd at State Farm Arena roared louder after the exchange, the game intensified. Both sides delved into a more physical, playoff-like battle. The emotional fire ignited by that moment spread like wildfire through every player on the court. The atmosphere became electric, pure adrenaline fueling a game that will be remembered for its intensity and heart.
Overall, it was the response from the Fever that impressed me the most to come away with this win. I said the last game was an impressive loss because things didn't go right and they were almost there and they came back. And this is sort of the, same side of that coin.
Clark's bold stand against Howard revealed her unwavering commitment to every possession, showcasing the leadership that championship teams thrive on. Her fearless attitude sent a clear message to her teammates. She was ready to fight for every inch, every play. Even veterans like Natasha Howard responded to Clark's fierce energy, and the entire team elevated their level of play after witnessing their star refuse to be intimidated. On a night when her shots weren't falling, going 0 for 5 from 3 and finishing with just 11 points, Clark still made a monumental impact. Her leadership, resilience, and toughness transcended the box score, exemplifying the true mindset of a champion. Her willingness to stand tall proved that her influence wasn't just in points. She was embodying the very essence of a winner.
It's huge, and again, our depth and our ability to play different lineups, our ability to lift one another up if we don't have it. I thought Damaris Dantas was huge for us when AB got in foul trouble, and it's easy to look at numbers, but what she brought in terms of her ability to move the ball, her defensive physicality was huge. Obviously what Lexi and Sophie bring for us, and even Sid, she hadn't played the whole game, and we throw her in there in some time and score situations. We have a team that we can go 11 deep.
That fiery exchange marked a pivotal turning point where the Fever established they belonged among the best. The entire team responded, energized by Clark's fearless spirit. They played with intensified aggression on defense, and on offense, they attacked the rim with renewed purpose. Championship-caliber teams are built on players who refuse to back down from anyone, and Clark just demonstrated she's exactly that type of leader. Despite being just a sophomore, Clark handled the pressure like a seasoned veteran. Her fearless response to Howard's challenge proved she possesses the mental toughness needed to lead this team toward titles. That moment unveiled the core reason the Fever believed they could stand toe-to-toe with anyone in the league. They had a leader who thrived under pressure and inspired her teammates to do the same.
We talk a lot about some days it's going to be your day, some day it's not, right? We have to choose the we over the me. And we have to stay ready, so we don't have to get ready. Every single person that impacted this game in a positive way, and I'm really proud of them.
This revenge victory in Atlanta proved beyond a doubt that the Indiana Fever have evolved from a rebuilding squad into a genuine championship contender, armed with depth, resilience, and multiple ways to secure the win. They held the dream to just 36% shooting from the field, outscored Atlanta, ORG, in the paint 46-20, and saw 4 different players reach double digits in scoring. The fact that they dominated on the road without their star having her best night speaks volumes. This team is prepared for whatever 2025 throws at them. Clark went scoreless from 3, but the Fever still secured a double-digit victory, a true sign of championship-level depth. Drop a comment below to show how proud you are of this incredible win. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a beat. Click on the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.